Good evening and morning and afternoon. Thanks for joining our live stream today. And if my camera's not working, I promise I am here behind the scenes. We are reviewing for our final exam. Check out the video on the video links section of Schoology if you want to get more into just an intro, just a touch of each of the body systems. It's a really good way for you to review. You're going to need your notes packet, the one you've been working on all year, and your big notes packet. Because in the larger notes packet on page 18, let's do this body system connection circle. What do you have to do? Draw a line from one body system to another, you choose, and then explain why you connected those two systems on your line. Okay? So if you need to pause, go ahead and pause. Use your notes. Make some connections, and then explain why you made the connections for each of these. Now, digestive system brings nutrients into the body, but those nutrients are distributed, transported, carried by the blood. So I'm connecting these body systems. You can connect almost all of them, some of them more than once. So pause, go ahead and complete that, and let's see how you did. We're back and we're going to check some of your connections. Now mine might be different than yours, that's okay, but I decided to connect the muscular system to nervous system. The brain sends signals to control your skeletal muscles. Your endocrine and nervous systems work together, closely together, to maintain homeostasis. Your skeletal system makes the blood cells that are used in the cardiovascular system. And your excretory system works with your lungs to remove the excess CO2 from your blood. Lots of connections, guys. Many of them can be made more than once. Lots of good connections. All right, let's get to what we've all been waiting for. Let's take out our review packet. If you don't have an actual paper copy, look on Schoology. You're going to see that I've linked it to your class. Remember back in the beginning we talked about living things? Potatoes. Are they alive? Are they not alive? Well, if they're alive, they've got to do some certain things like use energy, grow and develop, on and on. One of the things was levels of organization. Starting with atoms that are not alive, creating things like molecules like water. Then we're going to get into the living parts. Cells, tissues, organs, systems, and organisms. CTOSO. Remember, that's part of our human body system test. So make sure you can understand that simple idea. Complex things are made of smaller parts. Okay, let's talk about homeostasis. The internal conditions of the body are kept in balance. The outside world changes, but the inside of a living thing will stay within some certain range. For example, temperature control. There's a part of your brain that senses whether you're too hot or too cold. Maybe you sweat or you shiver. But homeostasis is more than temperature. Energy means if there's too much blood sugar or not enough. Monitoring water, if your body's got too much or too little water in the blood. Your literal balance. Stress. Fighting disease in your immune system. Whatever it is, whether it's monitoring the amount of oxygen in your blood, monitoring the amount of salt in your blood, monitoring your temperature, your balance. Your body must remain internally balanced, not too much, not too little of any one thing. Now we're going to break into each of the body systems. So if you haven't already done this, I would suggest you try by using your notes packet. You know, the one with all the charts. Each one has a different body system. See what you can fill out on your own, and then come back, check your answers, and fill in things that you don't know. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. Let's talk about the 5 functions of the skeletal system. Protection, structure support, mineral storage, meaning calcium storage for the future blood cells are made in bone marrow, and movement are some functions of your skeleton. Here are some main parts, body parts associated with your skeletal system. All right. We've got bones, cartilage, ligaments, joints, and tendons. Be sure you can distinguish the basics of these. We spent quite a bit of time talking about those. Pause if you need to. The one people mistake sometimes are ligaments and tendons, getting them mixed up. Bones to bones, bones to muscles. Remember we did MTB for tendons, MTB, muscle to bone. All right, we're not necessarily going to be testing you guys on names of bones, but if you're interested, here are some common bone names. And same with joints. Since we didn't do too much with these on our unit, we're not going to be quizzing or testing you on the names of them, but it's nice to know that you have different types or shapes of joints. All right, maybe we'll do a brain trick later. Let's just move on with our muscles, the muscular system. You have a couple types: involuntary, like in your digestive organs and your heart, you cannot control, and your voluntary muscles are skeletal. Okay, we're moving on. We've got digestive system. Main function is to break down and absorb nutrients. Lots of parts. Starting with your mouth, food goes in the esophagus to the stomach, into the small intestine and large intestine, and then finally, whatever can't be digested goes out of the body. Here's a chart that shows you all the different things. Remember, you made a cartoon of these. You picked the 5. These are the 5 that are the most testable. These are the ones you'll probably see on your test. So if you need to, look at the highlighted ones, please, especially pause, click this into your review packet. Remember the cartoon we did where we talked about the main stops, the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, small and large intestines. Again, those are the key parts. Okay. Transport system, circled a few times. Transport is the cardiovascular. Okay, again, lots of parts. Key parts for you guys will be the heart, veins, arteries, capillaries, and blood. Okay? So these that are highlighted, these are your most important terms. Pause. Check those over, make sure you've got those. All right, on this chart, it's really nice to know. I'm not going to test you precisely on how the blood flows through the body, but in general, we've got our bluish colored blood in our chart. Remember, that means low oxygen coming to the heart, getting squeezed through these valves, which make the heartbeat sound, pumped up to the lungs where they turn red as the blood cells pick up oxygen, back to the heart through valves and then to the body, where they're going to drop off their oxygen supply, and that's why we're now shading them in a blue color. Remember, in real life, your blood is never blue, just a darker shade of red. So from the heart to the lungs, to the other side of the heart, to the body, and back to the heart to repeat the process. All right, well, maybe we'll check that out later. Let's look at the respiratory system. Gas exchange for respiration. You breathe when your diaphragm changes the amount of pressure in your lungs. The diaphragm is this muscle here at the base of the ribs. As it goes down, you inhale, and as it goes up, you exhale, forcing air in through your mouth, nose, down the trachea, through the bronchial tubes, which branch eventually to the alveoli, tiny microscopic air sacs that fill up, surrounded by capillaries where they trade oxygen from the outside air into the bloodstream. All right, some of the key things that we talked about. Make sure you know about your nose, your trachea, bronchial tubes, and alveoli for sure. Lungs and diaphragm are nice to know as well. All right, pause if you need to. And we'll move on. Okay, excretory system for removing wastes. The main function or role is to remove waste. We've got our kidneys filtering the blood, urine, lungs removing CO2, skin, believe it or not, removing some salts in the sweat, and your liver is a filter for toxins as well. So our excretory system organs that we spent the most time on are kidneys and lungs. But it wouldn't hurt to know that your skin works similarly to help with especially just removing salts when you do happen to sweat. It's a balance thing, homeostasis. Let's move on. Okay, yeah, I threaded some fun facts in here for kids who did these all at once, but we're going to zip through it. Nervous system, your brain and spinal cord controls your body functions, your senses, your memory, your balance. And remember, you should be able to do all of these parts. We've got our brain collecting information, processing, sending signals through those nerves. The spinal cord's connecting the brain to the body, and then the nerves themselves are specialized cells which create electrical and chemical signals. Endocrine is all about homeostasis. We're making hormones. This is key. Hormones are made in glands. We didn't necessarily study any particular glands. Here are 3 examples. Adrenaline often is one that you might see as an example, and definitely the pancreas making insulin. So, it's a feedback system. As your body senses something is out of balance, a chemical will be sent from one place to another. Like your blood sugar going up, the pancreas will send insulin out into the body, telling the cells to absorb glucose. And as a quick review, the immune system fights bacteria and viruses, and that's your defense system. You'll see white blood cells transmitting through the body and carrying out that role. All right, let's move on. Oh, nice, a little review. And we're done. So I think that is the review packet. Yeah, a lot of body systems that you guys can check out. I'll link a video for you guys, or 2 in the video links. This one's a good one, a summary. I'll do the Amoeba Sisters and the Brain Pop one in your video links so you can watch it when you want. Make sure you study. We're going to give you definitely the opportunity to use your review packet during the test. Now, that's an incentive for you to bring that review packet. Have it studied, though, because, there's always those questions. Really, the test is on the unit. The test is not just on the review packet. That's just to help you out. Hey, thanks for joining and trying science. This is going to be great. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.